Well, JC, as you and I were talking, I think one of the really important things of an organization and what we uh, what we really strive for here, and is that we have our family, and then we have our business family, and the people that are part of that business family. There's been a lot of folks through the years, but some really stand out and make the difference of what the company is today. And I think it starts out with Bob Reynolds, who was employee number three,
Yeah.
and he was the operations guy. I told everybody what we could do, and I had no idea. And he was the guy that physically started out doing service work. And the next thing you know, we're doing UST installations. When the unleaded gasoline thing came along, that gave us a boost. During that time, Bill Winkler came along, and he was working for the electrical company that we were using as a sub. Said, "Why don't you come here? Why don't you hire me, and we'll do our own." He came onto the scene. We're in the electrical business, and then as we went along after that, as that's going along, a guy named Al Hilgren. He worked for Standard Oil, maintenance man. He was he was a serviceman, but then he was a tank tester. He became a very competent installer, and he was our one of our senior go-to gurus up until the time, unfortunately, passed a few years ago, and we really miss him. But then also, you might kind of hit on how he was involved in you and your brothers growing up and some of the things you did together.
Sure. To some extent. So it was a lot of fun. He'd take us camping. There'd be, groups of Seneca people. I don't know how many groups he'd take out every year up to Northeast Iowa. And he'd bring all the camping gear, and he'd bring a trailer full of stuff. You had to bring your own sleeping bag, though. He was particular about that. But other than that, he had everything there for you. He'd cook all the food, whatever fish you caught. Even if you didn't catch fish, which I wasn't very good at, he'd catch a bunch, and he'd make sure you were able to eat and all that. And it was a ton of fun. But he'd take a bunch of groups of Seneca people up there every year, and it was just a great experience to be around him.
So, but Al was a great guy, and personified Seneca. And then after that, Gary Broshai came in not too long after. He's still here today, one of the survivors. He, myself, and very few others. And Gary has been a mainstay here, just absolutely forever. Diehard Hawk fan. He's going to give you the Chamber of Commerce line on the Hawks, whether it's always going to be good. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't, but he's diehard Hawk. I think after that came Jeff Campbell, still here today, distribution manager, and he's absolutely integral in the daily operation of the business, the relationship with one of our major customers, and just a wonderful guy. Then we've got a guy that's slightly vertically challenged, Joe Cap. We decided we wanted to be in the automotive service equipment business, and a friend of mine who was a rep said, "I got the perfect guy for you," and he puts me together with Joe. We meet. I thought I was meeting with some grade school guy as tall as he was, but at any rate, we cut a deal, and he's really been the spark plug to drive the automotive side of our business for. I think he said the other day, I think he's at 33 years. Mm-hmm. So, there's another 30-year guy. And those are the kind of people that made Seneca what it is today. I think then you come back, and the guy that really kind of pulled it all together was Murray Nelson. And he started out as a staff geologist, and Seneca Environmental was all messed up, so it was at a fix or fold point with me. he fixed environmental. We had some service issues. He fixed that, and it kind of occurred to me this guy probably has got some skills that I certainly didn't possess, and decided that he would be a great guy to lead the company first as COO, and then as president, and then he mentored JC, and I think without Murray having been in the position he was in, Seneca would not be the company it is today. The family, the company, we all owe a tremendous amount to Murray Nelson.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's fun to know the history, and those are people that have been around for, almost since the inception, and to know that they're still here, I think speaks a lot about the culture and the family culture that we have. And I think that's really wonderful. And we have 400 employees today from those humble beginnings, and there's a whole number of people that have really helped us get to where we are and contributed. And those are just a few that were early on. But thank you to everybody too that has brought us to this point we're at today. And this has been a lot of fun, actually. We've talked about this stuff over the years, and it's fun to sit and get a chance to talk about it again. But I think it's important too to know where we're going. We have to know where we've been too, right?
Yeah,
and not lose sight of those things that got us to where we are, and continue the things that have made us successful, and continue those on in the future. So it's fun to keep that fresh. So thanks for talking to me about this again today. I appreciate it.
Well, absolutely my pleasure. And I'm kind of coming up on the end of the ride. I finally figured out when I became chairman, you became president. I figured out what chairman meant. That's on the way out, and I've got that part figured out now. But what's really fun for me is to watch the next generation of leadership and the team as a whole, and where it's gone just in the last 2 or 3 years, and where I think the future can be. And what's most rewarding to me is that this really solid team is in place that I think can take this through another generation, and I think it's got all sorts of potential to grow far beyond where it is today. And we're blessed to have a wonderful team, strong management, and as far as a platform to start with, I think the company's in great shape for hopefully the next 50 years.
Awesome. Thank you.